seconds?
Yeah.
Our writing staff is mostly over there. I see a lot of them. Bob Goodman, Derek Hughes, Drew Greenberg. I see Ben Rabb, I see Ian Stokes, Mike Fox. I see Ian Maddox and JP Nickel and Mark Stern, and the whole gang is over there. Mark Stern's not one of our writers, but he basically writes them all.
Give them a huge round of applause, will you?
If I could say something real quick about the writing staff myself, it's like, people come up and they're like, "Oh, you're so funny on the show, and we love your character." And
I don't think you're that funny.
I thank you, but it's really the writing. We've been blessed with such amazing writers that make us look good. So.
And Mr. Jack Kenny.
Yeah.
Who makes everything
really,
funnier.
I mean, Jack is there on the set every day, and he's really the brain of the operations. Mr. Kenny.
I know you guys go to a bunch of these panels, and I've done a lot of different series in my career, and I can tell you something very unusual that you may be interested in. And one of the things that is unusual about this show is the fact that we have our head writer on the set 75% of the time. And it means that when we have an idea, he's able to come in and make it better or censor it.
And when you say we have an idea, you mean you?
I have an idea. But no, it's true. We all have ideas, and then what happens is that Jack is right there. The other amazing thing, and it's really unusual, you will ask other actors who are doing other series, it's unusual. The writers who have written their episodes are coming on the set, and they're getting to watch their show happen. Not only watch it, but get to see the stuff that works great, get to watch actors not deliver the lines that they actually wrote. Sometimes for the better, sometimes not. But it is really a great privilege for all of us that system is in place. And it's one of the things that I am proudest of after all these years of watching how it, in many cases, isn't done well. And is that the writers are there and they're helping us do it on the spot. We don't have to, write letters or make phone calls and ask for permission.
It makes it organic.
Yeah, it makes it a lot of fun.
And you guys deserve it, because this isn't true with all casts, but we throw things at them all the time, and they go with it, they take it, they make it fly, they make it better. And that's what makes every show good. Any show that you see that you really like has probably got a dynamic like that going on, where it's a badminton contest between the two sides, batting a joke over, batting it delivered well, back and forth, and you get this great product. And it really is, you guys all are all responsible for it as well. Bravo.
Actor-writer love fest.
Yeah, we all love each other.
That was actually sort of something I wanted to touch on, because having done the show now, I get to see sort of the way that you guys all work and what you bring to your characters and everything. And this is a totally open-ended question to anyone, but have you guys felt that you've got a real chance this year to sort of make your characters a bit deeper and more well-rounded? I know, for example, we saw Pete getting a little bit aggro in the little trailer over there. So, I mean, can you tell us anything about that, Eddie? Or?
Well, I think, again, the writers have allowed me as an actor and Pete as a character to, earn the moments where Pete is silly by grounding him in a reality and giving him a life, like a life that everyone, the viewers, can relate to, I think. So I think Pete earns the right to be silly by having heart and being a good guy and being flawed. We know he's a recovering alcoholic, and so we show the character as being a real person. So I think, and I hope that the audience allows Pete to be a little silly sometimes for the sake of him being a good guy.
And I want to just touch on too that our goal, both that we discussed as a writing staff and that we discussed as a cast in Toronto, was to delve deeper into their lives this year, to find everybody, go outside of their warehouse life. We never want to drop, obviously, the procedural of the show, finding artifacts, snagging, bagging, tagging, but we wanted to learn more about everybody, so we found someone for Pete to fall in love with. We even found someone that Artie has a crush on. the beautiful and talented Lindsay Wagner.
Hello.
Is gonna be joining us. We
Can I
found
say,
found a
her
boyfriend.
eye is not the only thing that's bionic.
Eddie.
Letters should be addressed to Eddie McClintock, care of.
Let's keep going quickly.
Moving on.
Moving on. Claudia has a boyfriend, and Micah develops an interesting platonic relationship with somebody as the season goes on. That is well, she also gets to make out with Kurt Smoller, who is Cody Rhodes of WWE.
Yes.
She gets a big make-out session with a wrestler. So
He's the hunk.
And Mrs. Frederick has all well, we learn Mrs. Frederick's warehouse. Would you like to take this question?
I was actually just going to say what's happening with Mrs. Frederick. I mean,
We
I just-
discover that Mrs. Frederick's lover is the warehouse.
See how quick he is on
She's
his
connected on a
feet?
cosmic level.
He's big, dark, and complex.
That's our job.
What girl could ask for anything more? But really, we did want to learn. We wanted to go deeper into everybody's character this year, and you guys have really. And you can't do that without actors who can handle it. And these guys all handle such great different levels. They're all funny. They all have emotional depths that we get to go into this year. I mean, they all bring so much to the table. We're really blessed to have this group to bring those things to life for us. And so we're exploring them, and we'll continue to.
Saul and I had a conversation once. We've made it a habit because our on-screen dynamic basically is a mirror of our off-screen dynamic. I go to Saul a lot because you have years and years of experience.
Vast eons.
And I'm, a fraction of your age. The advice that you can offer me, Saul, and one of the things that he told me last year that I've taken with me every day is, no, this is an honest thing. Is if you feel uncomfortable in a scene, it's probably because you're lying. And so find a way to tell the Allison truth within the context of Claudia, is what you told me. And that, when it came down to this year, Claudia has this great struggle between, coming out of this sordid past, which if you watch season 1, she can't really talk about what she did with, the 12 years of her life that her brother was missing. This struggle between girlhood and womanhood and wanting to be a Secret Service agent and part of the warehouse, but how to resolve the fact that she doesn't really know how to deal with people. She's here with this amazing family that she's made for herself, but then beyond that, she kind of doesn't know how to function, and that's basically me.
Well, what's interesting in the situation that's set up, I mean, I'm married for 20 years. I have a 19-year-old and a 15-year-old, and in that way, Artie and I are a lot different. Artie has no life. He hasn't seen his father in 20, 25 years. He chose the life, the mistress of this warehouse that he both loves and hates and is obsessed by, and adores and loathes. And so he's now saddled with and gifted, both saddled and gifted with a family that he cares deeply about, and really doesn't have the tools himself to deal with it. So it's kind of wonderful this season when Claudia first makes the first tentative steps for getting a boyfriend.
I am now.
And I'm Sally Richardson Whitfield. Yeah.
This is actually what happens on the set
It is. It happens just like
all
this.
the time. I'd be in the middle of something.
You put me next to Eddie.
Fine.
What do you expect to
Saul's
happen?
doing his lines, Saul's into the scene, and Eddie's off to the side making fart jokes.
We're
Yep,
actually
that's about it.
arranged by
Next.
levels of maturity. That end being the least mature and this
Yeah.
end being the most mature.
Hey, I take offense.
Wait a
Saul
minute.
and I are somewhere in the middle.
They just call us old.